Why play Gwen top? Well, she counters tanky top laners, she scales well into the mid and late game, she's a great team fighter and split pusher, and she's very easy to pick up and do well with. However, she does only bring damage, not providing any utility, and a lot of her kit relies on healing, so any heal reduction can hurt her. Gwen's passive is her attacks deal additional magic damage, scaling with her target's health, and she heals for 50% of this bonus damage. Gwen's Q has a passive where she gains 1 stack when she hits an enemy with an attack to a maximum of 4 stacks. The active is a cone ability which snips her scissors once and then once again for each additional stack, consuming the stacks. So essentially you want to auto attack anything 4 times before using Q for maximum effectiveness. After each of these initial snips, she deals a final snip which deals greatly increased damage. Also, the center of the skill shot deals true damage instead. This ability deals reduced damage to minions but will basically execute any minion below 20% health. Gwen's W creates a circle around her which makes her untargetable to enemies outside of the circle. While in this circle, she gains a chunk of armor and magic resist, and she can recast it again to call the circle to her, or if she walks out of the circle for the first time, it will reset directly to her. Gwen's E is a short range dash which empowers her attacks for 4 seconds. Empowered attacks gain a large burst of attack speed, apply additional damage on hit, and the first attack restores a chunk of this ability's cooldown. Gwen's ultimate is a straight line skill shot which has 3 casts. The first cast throws a needle which deals damage, slows, and applies her passive. The second cast shoots 3 needles instead, and the third and final cast fires 5 needles instead for massive damage. The first time an enemy is hit with this ultimate, they receive a very large slow, and then any additional time they're hit, they receive a smaller slow. For combos, you want to cast your first ultimate, then dash in with E and attack. Following this, ultimate to attack before ulting again and attacking again. If your Q isn't already fully stacked, attack again before using your Q, and of course use W to protect yourself where needed. For matchups, Gwen does very well into tanks who usually enjoy fighting often. However, she can struggle against hard lane bullies. For runes take this, she procs Conqueror incredibly easily, and the sustain is everything she wants. For build orders, start Ring and Pot into tier 2 boots and a Rift Maker. After this, a Nash's is a great pickup before finishing your build with any of these as needed. For skill orders, start E then Q then W before maxing Q then E then W, taking ult whenever you can. For summoner spells, take Teleport and Ignite. Her E and W means you usually get more value from these, however both Flash and Ghost are also incredibly viable. Starting the game is when Gwen is at her weakest, so your main focus is going to be on farming and going for trades when they're free. At this point in the game, you're always looking to keep 4 stacks of your Q available, as this makes it far scarier to go in on you and try to trade. When looking for trades, Gwen is great at attacking through minions, so a simple dash forward into a Q and an auto attack is a large burst of damage. This is especially true if she gets the true damage off. However, as a large amount of her damage is based on having a Q fully stacked, she does lose a lot of extended fights. So for the most part, try to keep your trades in these smaller windows. When you hit level 6, you now have an insane amount extra damage. This combined with the massive slow that your ultimate provides gives you easy chase down kills. Entering the mid game, get your tower as soon as possible and split push as far as you can safely. From here, if you're able to duel your opponent, do keep pushing. Otherwise, group up your team for objectives. Entering late game teamfights, you are incredibly strong and you want to play as the frontline bruiser. Gwen is naturally pretty tanky, with her W giving her tank stats and allowing her to avoid a good chunk of damage. This combined with her healing makes her very difficult to kill. And playing as the frontline bruiser means she can absorb a ton of this damage while putting out massive damage on their frontline. Keep spamming out as much damage as you can. As you don't bring utility, your win condition is to simply out damage and kill them before they get to your backline.